Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear English 001 students, my name is Muhammad As-Samaki, the coordinator of English 001. The purpose of my presentation is to brief you on the ILOs covered in the first 2 weeks. Before we start, we have to talk about the ILOs and what they mean. ILOs are the intended learning outcomes. Simply, after being engaged in the learning process for the first 2 weeks, what can you do? What are you able to do in the following sections or areas? We have 3 sections: General English, Technical English, Vocabulary, and Grammar. In General English, we cover the 4 language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In the Technical English, we cover the technical part. And in Vocabulary and Grammar, we cover the new words that you learned and the grammar part. So this is the list of all the ILOs for the first 2 weeks. We start with the first section, General English, and the first skill, listening. You identify keywords and phrases. Speakers often repeat keywords and phrases more than once. These words are very important because they tell you the important information about the topic. And as a result, as a listener, these will help you to identify the topic. Please ask yourself, after finishing 2 weeks of instruction, if you are invited for a job interview, can you answer these questions? Can you talk about yourself, what you studied in high school, the work experience you have, and your dream job? This is the listening skill or the speaking skill for the first 2 weeks. What about the reading skill? Do you know how to preview a text? There are some tips that you have to follow in order to be able to preview any text. The first one is reading the title. The second one is reading the headings. And the last one is looking at pictures and captions. Writing is a difficult skill, but remember, you are still in the sentence level as English 001 student. In the writing part, we have 3 important intended learning outcomes. The first one is writing a simple sentence. The second one is writing a compound sentence. And the third one is correcting the errors in both simple and compound sentences. We start with the first one, writing a simple sentence. We have 3 examples here. These are 3 simple sentences. A simple sentence is one independent clause with a complete thought. It consists of a subject and a predicate. What is a subject? A subject is what the sentence is about. And the predicate, what does the subject do? So, for example, in 1, I is the subject. What does the subject do? Run in the track every morning. And the same with the other 2 examples. The second writing part is writing a compound sentence. A compound sentence has at least 2 independent clauses that are joined by connecting words. We have here 2 simple sentences. We can join them together using a connector, and this connector is AND. So I can say Ahmed passed the exam and he got a high grade. Of course, we can join the sentences together using and, but, and so, and of course you studied other connectors in the first 2 weeks. The third writing component is correcting the errors in simple and compound sentences. We have 2 types of errors. The first one is fragment, and the other one is run-on sentence. An incomplete sentence is called a fragment. Some food very spicy. This is a fragment because it is missing the verb is. It is an incomplete sentence. Run-on sentence error is happening when we join 2 sentences together without a correct punctuation. Look at this example. I received a letter. It was from my sister. There is a punctuation mistake here. We have 2 sentences joined together without any correct punctuation. How to correct it? We have to add a period here and we have to start the second sentence with a capital letter. We finished the first section, General English. Now we come to the technical part. In technical English, make sure that you are able to write and spell out letters, numbers, dates, and times. Ask yourself, can I read this number? Is this room number 223, or is it 223? Also ask yourself, is this 968821 meters or 968,821? These are examples of units of measurements. You have to know their meanings. These are just samples, examples. We have others in your book and you have studied in the first 2 weeks. Dates. Do you know how to write and read out dates using different systems? European, American, Japanese, and ISO. Look at this date. I can read it out in different ways depending on the system that I use. Times. What is the time? If I want to use a 24 clock system, I can say it is 2025. But if I want to use a 12-hour clock system, I can say it is 8:25 p.m. We finished with the technical part. Now we move to the vocabulary and the grammar part. This is the list of the vocabulary that we covered in the first 2 weeks. It includes the vocabulary in both sections, General English and Technical English. When you come to this part, you have to know 3 things. First, how to read the words, the pronunciation. The second thing is the meaning. You have to know the meaning of each word. And the third one is the use. You should be able to use the word in speaking and writing. Another vocabulary skill is word forms. In English language, sometimes we have words that can be both nouns and verbs. We have 2 examples here, match and travel. Look at the first sentence. Match is a noun. This job is a match for you. But in the second one, match is used as a verb. Look at the second example. I enjoy travel. Travel is used as a noun. But in the second example, it is used as a verb. I travel a lot for my job. So sometimes we find words that can be both nouns and verbs. Grammar, and this is the last intended learning outcome. We covered 2 grammar points in the first 2 weeks, simple present and simple past, verbs plus infinitives. You should be able to know the form of the simple present and simple past, and you should be able to use both of them. In addition, verbs plus infinitives, you have in the book 3 words like, want, and need. These verbs can be followed either with a phrase or an infinitive. For example, want, I can say I want water, which is a phrase, or I want to drink water. This is the end of my presentation. I hope this helps you a lot and wishing you the best. Thank you very much.